And that committee would meet probably once a fortnight, and it contained all the technical experts in the energy sector and the political directorate and anybody else who is required to come and put something into the pot in those meetings. So when a plan to a project is thought about or is approached by, the government is approached by some foreign investor who wants to talk, all that goes on there. And when something gels and is going to come to fruition, then the government comes out and says, look, we have a project. And you tell the country that. And the investors and the developers know that. The banks will know that. And you, the people, will know that, and you proceed to carry on the project. How does this government operate? Having not performed in the previous period, they come in this period and tell you, X, Y, Z coming, this coming, that coming. Tonight I want to ask you a question. Because I know many of you listened to the last two budgets. And you would have heard Minister Dukaran talk specifically, as well as the previous Minister of Energy, Carolyn C. Prasad Bechan, about the AUM2 plant. Remember that? There's an AUM plant, AUM1, built under the P.N.M. As they came into office, they met things in train for the AUM2 plant. They told you the plant was coming with all the thousands of jobs and the how much 100 million investment. They gave it to you in the 2010 budget, 2011 budget, 2012 budget, and I dare say they will give it to you again in the 2013 budget. No AUM plant. They spoke the same way about the Carisal plant. Where is it? No way. And every time they get into trouble, they come and they hold out one to you. But the one that got my goat was when they came to you and said that under their stewardship, because of their expertise, we are about to receive in Trinidad and Tobago the largest foreign investment ever made in Trinidad and Tobago. A methanol plant with downstreaming from it, coming SABIC, a big Saudi Arabia company, and Sinopec, a big Chinese company, SABIC Sinopec coming, $5.7 billion investment. And many persons in the media refused to accept that the government is a government of quacks and invalids, took it seriously. And they got 2 baskets full of praise, tens of thousands of jobs. And then when I heard this nonsense, because when that was being said to us, it was at a time when we had serious issues, and we still have serious issues with respect to our long-term gas supply for the existing Point Lisa's plants. So I couldn't understand this foolishness for which they were being praised by those who claim to be in authority and are experts. So I went to the parliament and I asked the minister, what is this you all fooling people here with? What is the gas price that you are talking about that will attract Saudi Arabian company to come to Trinidad and Tobago halfway around the world to use gas to make methanol? Between Saudi Arabia and Trinidad and Tobago lies 60% of the world's gas. Right next door to Saudi Arabia, down south and eastern African coast, is Mozambique. Coming on the horizon as one of the biggest gas producers in the world. Mozambique has one gas well in a field that is bigger than all the production in Trinidad and Tobago. They're looking for a market right now. And you're passing that to come to Trinidad to get what? What is the gas price you're offering these people? Because the NGC, which we own, is a gas seller. NGC does not produce its own gas. It's a middleman in the gas business. It buys gas from the BP and the BHP and so on, and it sells it to the users. So if SABIC is coming for this $5.7 billion project through the NGC, whose gas will they use? It certainly wouldn't be BP's gas at BP's price. You know what he told us? When he filed a question in the parliament, that SABIC is selected for the project because SABIC put in a bid for gas price that is 36% lower than the NGC price. Let me explain that nonsense to you. NGC is buying the gas, and we bring it to simple numbers. These are just simple numbers. So NGC will buy the gas for $1. This is just for the explanation purpose. SABIC puts in a price for 66 cents, right? Or 64 cents. And they get the project. So clearly, NGC will pay BP $1 and sell it to SABIC for 36% less. Any second standard, Charlie? That sound like sense to you? Not to mention how we didn't even have the gas available. But even if we produce new gas as we're trying to produce now, is that how it would be sold? And I knew it was nonsense, so we kept pressing the minister, and I don't have the time tonight to read out all that we were told in the parliament. But specifically, the last time I pressed the minister on this matter in the parliament, where we all here waiting for this tens of thousands of jobs and this $5.7 billion industry, he told the parliament, it's on Hansard record in the parliament, that the project, the negotiations, that means they will try to twist SABIC arm to move its price up from 66 cents to $1 during the negotiating period. That will take 6 months. That should finish June last year. And then they will begin to get the approvals from the EMA with the plant. And his specific words were that construction will start at the end of the first quarter of 2013. So tonight, this meeting was planned specifically to come down here in Point Fortin tonight to ask you all in Point Fortin, you who expect to live off our industries, if you are aware that this major plant, its construction is supposed to start at the end of this month, which is 3 weeks away. Having planned this meeting, guess what? 2 days ago, they said SABIC, not realizing that there are people in Trinidad and Tobago who have some sense. The public servants dug their heels in and said, no way, none of your foolishness. So the so-called negotiation, SABIC realized that they will not be getting any gas, not now or ever at that price. So SABIC stay outside Trinidad and Tobago, issue a statement that they're done with this government and Trinidad and Tobago project dead. 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And then when the minister was asked about it, because the press heard about it from API, Associated Press International, when they came to the minister and said, what is this? This project is dead? He said, yes, it has died by mutual consent. Both Trinidad and Tobago and SABIC decide to kill the project. You know, and they tell you these things because they feel you're stupid. SABIC came here and held out to us as a potential investor. If things didn't work out, what mutual consent? If there's any mutual consent, it means you commit suicide because you wanted it. But what happens is the thing was a foolishness from the beginning. And tonight I want to take issue with the local experts. When the government talks stupidness, come out and take issue with the government and protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago from stupid talk. Because when we as opposition talk, they make it sound as though it is because we want the job and it's politics. It is not politics, it's simple common sense. That plant was thrown to us from a government who was taking pressure from being told truthfully that you were damaging the economy. We told them that the economy was going to turn around if you leave it alone. Mr. Dukaran said he will turn it around. We said no, it's going in the right direction. We are beginning to come out of the short recession. Don't turn it around. He turned it around. And when the second year, when they had nothing to offer, the offer is this huge, humongous plant that made no sense. But if you think I'm the only person who has a problem with this government, they met in place a potential opening for Trinidad and Tobago to go into Ghana and become a major player and an influential partner in the Ghanaian energy industry. Because there are two things we know about in this country, energy and carnival. We export carnival for free, and we can export energy technology and expertise and know-how to make a living. The government spent a year trying to appoint a board at the NEC. The Ghanaians got fed up, kicked us outside, and gave it to the Chinese. Understand that, eh? But let me tell you what experts are saying about the government, because if you listen to the Prime Minister, and you listen to members of the cabinet, and you listen to their paid bloggers and their lackeys in the media, you will think that the government is doing a wonderful job. Let me quote for you from today's paper, today, Tuesday, 5th March. And I'm quoting here an energy expert, a local expert, who happened to have been one of my colleagues from way back when. He is now a consultant to a number of African countries and international companies and so on. Listen to what he says about what I just told you about. And I'm quoting him here in today's Express, page 10. In a telephone interview with the Express, Anthony Paul, energy expert, the managing director of the Association of Caribbean Energy Specialists, ACES, said, and listen carefully what Anthony Paul, the expert, says, the government talks about policies and priorities, but just seems to do what comes to mind on any given day, and responds to tenders without a comprehensive understanding of what it is doing. None of the contracts make products available to downstream users. Mr. Paul also said he was concerned about the impact on investment. And he goes on to say, our reputation is so bad, nobody is seriously looking at investing in Trinidad because there is